There's a story Jesus told, one that's so human, so real, that no matter how old you are, you can feel it in your bones. It's the story of a family and a son who wanted something more. Picture this, a father with 2 sons. A good man, wise, gentle. The kind of father who didn't just provide, he cared. And his younger son, he had fire in his eyes, restlessness. This feeling that there had to be more out there than the life he knew. If you've ever felt like you wanted to run, start over, or live life your way, you'll understand him. One day, the son walks into his father's room. He doesn't sit down. He doesn't ease into the conversation. He just looks his father in the eyes and says, "Give me my share of the inheritance." Now, in that culture, that wasn't just bold. It was almost like saying, "I want what I'd get when you're gone, now." But the father didn't yell, didn't shame him. Didn't say, "After all I've done for you." He simply divided his property, gave the boy what he asked for, and let him go. Sometimes love doesn't chain you down. Sometimes love lets you walk away, even when it hurts. Not long after that, the son packed everything he owned as if he couldn't wait to leave, fast enough, and headed for a distant country. You can imagine the excitement, the freedom, the thrill of nobody telling him what to do. Money in his pocket, new faces, new experiences. He felt unstoppable. But life like that burns fast. The money went quickly, spent on people who weren't really friends and pleasures that didn't last. And when it all ran out, they ran out too. And just when he thought it couldn't get worse, it did. A famine swept across the land. The boy who had it all was now desperate, finding work feeding pigs the ultimate shame. He was so hungry he longed to eat what the pigs ate. It was there, in the mud and the filth, that he finally came to his senses. "My father's servants have food to spare," he thought, "and I am here dying of hunger." He decided to go home, to beg not for his place as a son, but just as a servant. He stood up, dusted off the dirt, and rehearsed what he'd say. "Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Just take me back as a servant, not as a son, just someone allowed to be nearby." That's what regret does. It shrinks your sense of worth. But he started walking anyway. Sometimes the hardest step is simply turning around. Now here's the part that gets me every time. While he was still far off, his father saw him. That means the father had been watching, waiting, hoping, looking down that road day after day. And when he saw that familiar silhouette, he didn't walk. He didn't wait for an apology. He didn't cross his arms and say, "I told you so." He ran. This dignified, respected man ran toward his son with everything in him. Before the young man could even finish his apology, the father pulled him into his arms, held him like someone who had been lost and was finally home. And then, the father did something unimaginable. He called to the servants, "Bring the best robe, get a ring for his hand, put sandals on his feet, and prepare a feast. Because my son was dead, and now he is alive again. He was lost, and now he is found." It wasn't just forgiveness, it was restoration, a full embrace. The kind only love can give. But the story doesn't end there. The older brother, the responsible one, the steady one, heard the music, the dancing, the laughter, and he refused to go inside. In his mind, it wasn't fair. He'd stayed. He'd worked. He'd done everything right, and yet the celebration was for the one who messed up. So the father stepped outside again, just like he had when his younger son returned, and gently said, "My son, everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate because your brother was lost, and now he is found." It wasn't a rebuke, it was an invitation. An invitation to let grace be bigger than resentment. Jesus told this parable to show us what God is like. A father who lets us choose, but never stops hoping we'll come home. A father who runs toward us before we can clean ourselves up. A father who restores, who forgives, who celebrates our return even when we feel unworthy. And a father who invites all of us, the wanderer and the faithful, the broken and the steady, into a love big enough for every story. Maybe you see yourself in the younger son, trying to find your way back. Maybe you connect with the older son, hurt, confused, trying to understand grace. Or maybe you're just someone who needed to hear that no matter where you've been, God still waits for you with open arms. This story isn't just about a rebellious son. It's about a father whose love never stops searching, never stops running, never stops welcoming you home,